welcome to the couch. I'm your host, Thomas. Anyways, today's topics, we're going to cover a couple things today, and I got my host,
Michael French,
and my special guest.
I'm Suki.
How y'all doing today? Awesome. Anyways, we're going to jump right into it and get things started, get things moving. So, one of the things that I decided I want to discuss here on the panel today is about the award that was presented to the beloved, the RZA, the Jizza, Bruce Jenner. She got an award for displaying a certain amount of courage, so much so that she beat, what's her name, Mary Magdalene?
I'm pretty sure that's not her name.
Mary Magdalene.
That's a woman in the
biblical
Bible.
name.
That's a woman.
My bad. What's the? It was a man and a girl. It was a girl. I'm serious. Her name is Mary something. Was a gentleman who lost his arm and his leg in the war. He got his arms and legs blown off by saving somebody, and he still does tours today, giving lectures and so forth. She beat him to the award because she decided that she wanted a vagina more than a penis. So, without further ado, we're going to continue this conversation. Mr. French, how do you feel about that?
About the award, or
about her getting the award?
Her getting the award?
Yes, sir.
Well, the way I would say it is that it's a big deal for somebody to come out in that specific social group of transgender. Like, you want to talk about the lives that it might have saved from people that are not comfortable with how everybody perceives them.
Okay.
And now you have a role model. Like we've progressively gotten more. We had women role models. You're looking at like Oprah Winfrey,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have like feminism sweeping across the nation, becoming a real thing where we're starting to get really trying to get equal and everything. And we've talked about that before on here. And then we have the gay rights now, where you can legal across the entire nation. So it's like there's role models in each of those progressive civil steps that are going to really give people something to latch onto and have an identity. And so as far as the award goes, I think that the award, I don't really necessarily agree that it should have been given to her.
Okay.
Because she wasn't the first or
transgender.
Right, or maybe the one that had the most opposition to come through. I think that the reason that she won the award is because she had the most public knowledge.
Not notoriety.
Yeah, exactly. Like the biggest face.
Mm-hmm.
So it really gave the cause of transgender equality throughout the country.
Do you think that's disrespectful to the actual transgender community?
The actual community, not necessarily.
Okay.
Maybe some of the people that have come out before
Mm-hmm.
that didn't get as big recognized.
Mm-hmm. As a recognition.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's because of her position where dating or is he married to a Kardashian?
I believe they're still
Yeah.
married. I believe they're
Married
still
to a Kardashian, Olympic gold medal winner, and all that. So I think it was part coming out and part the physical face, like the amount of people that would recognize that person, kind of thing. So I don't agree with that it should have been her, but I do agree that it needed to happen. It needed to give everybody something to latch onto and be able to identify themselves with. And
Interesting. Mr. Von Dutch, how do you feel about the award given to Miss Bruce, or Mr. Bruce, whatever? Mr. Bruce. I'm sorry.
Caitlyn? I think that's what she wants to be called.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Political.
I do think that the act itself, I guess, to take on that big public, like you said, that with this name of notoriety, that did take a lot of courage.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the publicity stunt behind it, though.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that, we care so much because it's attached to this name of the Kardashians, and it's like, one of them sneezes and it's like headlines. And I'm over that part of it. I do appreciate the journey. I agree with you that, we do need these role models at different steps to say, look, I did it. You know what I'm saying? To give people something to latch on to. However, probably wouldn't have decided to give it to her. Probably not. Okay. It does deserve some recognition and some, pats on the back, like, look at you, you did it. But I don't think it was the most courageous act out of acts that could be considered courageous.
Okay.
And I have something to go on with that too.
Okay.
Well, just a little bit is that Caitlyn she did come out. Bruce
Okay.
did come out with it, but like, it's not as if somebody that's completely unknown, just a regular Joe that comes out. That's harder because this person had support and
Right.
had the clout to do so, and like
And money.
exactly, and the money. So like even in that position, you know that you're going to come out and you know you're going to get opposition, but you know you're also going to have a large
You're gonna be
amount of
okay.
people
A lot of
giving you fan
acceptance.
letters saying,
Yeah.
yes, thank you for doing this. But it's harder for somebody that's just a normal person living in society to come out and say that when they're not going to get all the recognition. Where as far as Caitlyn coming out, Bruce coming out, she knew she was going to get a lot of support. Like she's going to get a lot of opposition, but a lot of people were also going to say thank you for doing it. As far as like if I were to try to come out that way, I feel like I would have a lot more opposition to it. I would hear more of that than I would.
That's why I said
support.
it's not the most courageous thing anyone has ever done.
Exactly.
Because it's like,
So basically-
regardless, she was gonna be all right. Like people were gonna have, they're gonna be naysayers and critics or whatever. But for the most part, Bruce / Caitlyn would have been perfect. It's gonna be fine with the things that they have with their life. It's already set up for success, pretty much. So.
Well, my question is, I'm not sure if you two are familiar with the jump. Well, it's kind of hard to decide. I'm not sure what they want it to be, but there was a young person who had he had green hair and fingernails. The guy got really famous really quickly. He was talking about he saw an accident. He was a black guy with green long hair. I think it was a transgender, I believe it was. He had long fingernails. You know what I'm talking about?
Like Pretty Island.
Yeah, he wanted to be, so he
What
wanted a
about-
cheeseburger. Like, as far as, I'm serious, as far as, I'm assuming he would want to be a transgender because he had his hair slicked back, you know what I'm saying, and so forth. And he was extremely feminine, which is fine. Do you think that Bruce Jenner, like the fact that he was as flamboyant and over the top, you know what I'm saying? The fact that he got such a negative connotation, like he didn't get all the positivity that Bruce got. See, Bruce was welcomed with open arms. Like as soon as Bruce decided he wanted a vagina, like people just, they were all for it. The fact that I'm asking is if anybody else were to, which there are people that have come out and said I want to be a transgender, why do you think they would not have been reciprocated the same way Bruce was?
Well, since you brought up the specific guy with the green
Yes.
hair, I don't know. I think that no one was really given a backlash as far as him wanting to be whatever he wants to be.
'Cause he went to jail.
His look itself was just like, it was just like a lot all at once. Like the makeup was a lot. It was very made up. It was very loud. It was very I'm here. So I think that's what people were like, geez, that kind of looks crazy. Not like, oh, how dare this transgender person. Like, I don't think it was an issue of that person's sexuality or whatever they wanted to identify
Yeah,
as.
because they
His
get
look
it.
itself, though, was just like
she,
something you look twice at because it was so, And flamboyant is perspective, though. What he, that maybe his regular get up and we think it's, loud and too much, but that's all just a matter of opinion.
Yeah, he immediately went to jail right after that. Now, going back on the Bruce Jenner thing for really quick, I want to touch on that. You have something you wanted to add?
This is pretty much what I planned to talk about.
Okay.
Because you said, you said that some other people wouldn't come out against it because of Bruce Jenner. The thing with the whole transgender issue, and I think that we look at those kinds of things from a society standpoint.
We got 41% of the suicides.
Yeah, and you look at social everything that we live to. You talk about the sheeple and everyone's kind of like, but that's how society functions. Is everyone fits into their role, you find your role, you do your role, but every role they don't agree with homosexuals or they don't agree with, drug addicts or anything like that. So my whole point is that it's a fundamental human characteristic to put boxes. That's what we want. We want everything to be in boxes. We're like, oh, those are the rich people, those are the jocks, those are the emo kids. Like we want to be able to categorize.
We want to be segregated.
There are so many people in the world nowadays, and we interact with so many people, and you have so many people on Facebook. You want to be able to easily categorize people. And I think besides like the extreme religious people that say like homosexuality isn't in the Bible, I feel like people that aren't that religious but still are against homosexuality, it's because they're confused. And I think that goes along with they can't define, oh, you're a guy, but you like other guys. You don't fit into these boxes.
They want to put logic to it, but it's not a logical thing.
Right,
So,
and so I think it's a subconscious.
It's not. I mean, it's not a scientific equation. Of
Really?
like what.
I'm serious. I'm curious. I'm like, because I mean, when
You can't apply logic to it. You can't say, well, you're a boy. You're not supposed to do that. That's you trying to break it down logically.
Yes.
That's unfair to do.
Really?
Because your own logic is your own personal way of
interesting.
And that's what I'm saying is it's a subconscious thing, and you do it regardless of whether you're paying attention. Like, I'm walking down the street and it's night,
Am I 6'4"? Gotcha.
and I see it. Yeah, I see a 6'4" dark colored person in like baggy jeans, and I'm sitting here like this 5'8" white guy. I'm like, maybe I gotta be prepared.
Your bowels
Instantly,
loose.
if you instantly like put people just as soon as you see them, you put them in some kind of box, and I think it makes people uncomfortable when they can't figure out what box that person's supposed to
Question.
go into.
Stop right there. Question. Do you believe that is a hereditary human aspect? Like we're just engineered as humans to feel that way? Is that an evolutionary survival tactic in a sense?
I don't think that.
Or do you think that's something that we've developed recently?
I wouldn't even say recently. I wouldn't say it's a evolutionary thing. I would say it's a societal thing. As long as we've had societies, you want to have.
because you have these.
You have the
standards.
monarchs.
You know
You
what I'm
have the
saying?
monarchs. You have the slaves. You have the artisans. You have the workers. As long as we've had society, it's better to put people in
Status
categories.
has always mattered.
Yes.
Labels have always mattered.
Always.
So when
Time.
when you're looking at somebody and you know that they were born a male and they've had reconstructive surgery to be a female, you on a subconscious level, because I've had that feeling too. Like before I got into theater, I've never been against homosexuals, but like the first time I really got into having a bunch of homosexuals around me, and like I felt uncomfortable, and logically I was like, I shouldn't feel this.
Stop recording.
Okay, you got me started.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I didn't feel logically. I was like, there's no reason I should be uncomfortable with this, but there's some deep-seated something I couldn't explain that made me confused and uncomfortable. And I think that has to do with the transgender and all this other stuff, and like gay people being allowed in the military, which is a big deal recently.
Yeah.
That being how do they say it? If you don't like the military saying was like don't
Don't ask,
tell,
don't tell.
don't ask, don't tell. Exactly. And I think it's just because people are just confused, and on a subconscious level, on a very primitive level, not being able to categorize somebody. Like, I don't know where I put you if you're like that. I don't know where I put you, and so it just makes you very deeply uncomfortable, and then it makes you confused because you don't understand why you're uncomfortable.
Well, to add to that, I've had homosexual friends, of course. Some people that I even know were homosexual until later on I found out they were homosexual, men and female. I've never actually had a problem with it ever. I kind of just, to me, they've always been people. You know what I mean? They're tasting. And one of the reasons I brought that up was because this happened actually recently last year. They had a Miss, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Miss Jamaica. There was a big fallout about Miss Jamaica, but because of the fact that, everybody knows what Jamaica is, and when people think about Jamaica, they think about dark skin, dreads, and things like that, maybe some action, some goats running around, but
That's terrible.
but I mean, seriously, I mean, just dark skin. When people think about Jamaica, we think about dark skinned people, okay? And when Miss Jamaica, the person that won Miss Jamaica was about your complexion.
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
What are you saying?
But she was extremely light skinned, and the Jamaican community went berserk because there's like, she does not represent us. She's not our standard of beauty. She is a Caucasian standard of beauty because she's very, very light skinned. She has the very small pointed nose and very small lips. The same thing happened with Miss Chinese or Miss Japanese a couple of years back when they went bananas because they had another white woman up there. Well, she looked white, she was mixed, but she looked more white than Japan, and she was like, yo, she does not represent us. So we're outraged, blah, 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 this and that and so forth. So like going back to that, there obviously is a standard of beauty that people sit back and go to, and it's more of the Caucasian standard of beauty. Like you said, the blonde hair, blue eyes, big boobs. Oh, well, now the white girls saying they want ass now because the sisters are walking around with ass now,
Yeah.
So it's changing up a little bit. But, as far as the beauty standard, it is a slight perception. Everybody has their own looks and things, what they look for and so forth. But I do agree that there is a beauty standard.
I don't think it's the white woman though. Is that what you're saying?
I think that
Well,
me
I think it used to be, but
me
it's
personally don't think that, but I know that in society's eyes, that's what people look for, as far as the beauty standards.
I'm not even trying to do like the whole media basher and all that kind of thing. But
Why
that's kind of how it is, you know. It's really just who's on top right now, and that's kind of along the lines of what I've been saying. Is like it's just that certain subgroup in Jamaica didn't agree with it. That like I said, it went across the boxes that you try to put people in.
They flip their shit.
They're representing Jamaica, but they're not the Jamaicans that you have put them into that box. And so when anybody ever steps out of what they should be, it causes a problem in society. As far as like, we don't really know what to do with you. Like, are you a Jamaican?
I mean, that goes all the way back to like fucking Salem witch trials.
Yeah.
Like they were like, you know what I'm saying? They were fucking burned alive because their community was like, that motherfucker strange. She's a witch.
Yeah, so,
killer. You know, so it's just like it's just always been that way.
And that's how Hollywood's always been too. It's like people changing their names, changing their hair colors, or
trying
their look
to be picked up.
And the best way to be picked up in today's society, as far as like a movie star or a premier celebrity, is to follow whatever is going in that way.
Right.
And you see people changing that stereotype as time goes on by I can't even think of any right now, but like you just. People, it progresses. It's always changing.
Boundaries are always pushed. So
right, exactly.
Why you're allowed to have a wider
and it changes. And the thing is, when you get older as a person, each individual, like each generation picks up new things, and all the older generations go, oh, that internet, that video games, that's going to ruin your life. And it's just because it's not what they ever did. They don't know how to incorporate that in their lives.
I agree.
And so the beauty standard is going to change, and it will forever change with however the common acceptance. The common acceptance, whatever the common acceptance
Which will be the dominant race. It's going to be whatever the dominant race is.
Whether or not they're most populous, and that's the thing too, is they don't even have to be the most populous race. They just have to be the most powerful, most influential in the movies, in the media, in cinema.
Which is why it goes back to the plight of a lot of sisters have the issue where they feel like they're not being looked at as good as other races of women, because they feel like they're not being, put out there, publicized like other races of women. So a lot of sisters have a lot of animosity behind that, because of the fact they feel like that, either biracial or other races like white women, things like that, are getting more play than they are. They feel like they're having to constantly compete, you know what I'm saying? And they're always, having to swing for the fences to get something that they...
Stop. All right, continue from your... the beginning of that there.
Okay, but yeah, I feel like a lot of sisters have an issue with the whole beauty standard, which is why you saw the whole huge natural hair movement that just kind of is coming back since the 70s. That's coming back. People are getting rid of the weave and getting locks and growing the fro out and things like that, going the whole natural. And I tell my sisters all the time, I say they look their best. They look their best when they're rocking their natural hair. When I see a black woman with a head full of their natural hair, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. It's very, very attractive to me. But that being said, I want to jump on another topic. My other topic I want to jump on is about how old is 17 really?
Well, and it's funny. It's funny because I was actually earlier today. I was talking with my friends. How did you know she was 15? Did you see what she was wearing?
A lot of these 16-year-olds could pass for 18 plus because of the fact that all the hormones and things like that in the foods, and they are really stacked. Now, Miss Von Dutch, Miss Silky, as a almost 25-year-old young lady, if a man...
You don't need to propose it to me. It's actually occurred today. This young man was being very friendly, what's your Instagram, and you're gorgeous, and you model, and look at those tattoos, look at that hair, and I'm entertaining it, and it's cool, and all of a sudden, he's like, yeah, I just want to tell you that, I'm 17, and I'm a senior at Lincoln, and I'm pretty sure my phone fell out my hand in slow motion, and I was just immediately turned off.
Really?
So
because it was 17.
Yes. My little brother who just graduated from high school is 18. So like we're really pushing it here.
Well,
like,
most women aren't texting younger guys, but go ahead.
And like he said, it was like I wanted to sit down and like automatically I felt like motherly. Like, are you doing your homework? Did you study? Like, you know, and it was just like I felt like I couldn't talk to them in the same way. We didn't have, you know, we can talk about a lot of different things, but there's a whole lot of other stuff we can't talk about. Like, you can't even.
Yeah, no.
You can't fool. You can't buy me no drink. I'm like, you might learn how to drive. I'm gonna pick you up.
How do you relate to me?
Like, you know,
on a surface level, it's like, all right, cool. No, we're getting along. You
right?
like this
We
music,
talk
I
about
like this
general,
music.
general ideas, but then it's like,
can you really relate to me? Like, you know, and no, I want to.
Listen, I smoke.
You don't have to talk to Thomas.
You can't get me a Dutch Master. Like, it's just doomed. Automatically, like, you can't buy me a Dutch Master. Ask Thomas how important that is. It's just so, it's funny that we were talking about this because it was literally, and I was just like, I'm not gonna be mean to you now. I'm not gonna be cold to you now. But it's shifted, and now I just kind of, I don't know. I feel like you're my mentee. Like I need to tell you about how life is out here. Like what happens to you over the years, and like
it almost
keep
makes
your
like
heart.
older brother thing. Like it's like, are you being safe? Are you using condoms?
Don't get your heart broke out here, right?
You don't take drinks from random strangers. Okay, good.
So that's what I'm saying. That's the underlying thing to me is, and you know, like you said, there are exceptions. Obviously, there are some 18-year-olds who are mature than some 25-year-olds.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, as far as life ideals and the forming of your personality, I became who I am now between the ages of 18 to 22. You know what I'm saying? So you don't even know who you are yet. You just have an idea, and I can't work you through that process. Like,
and that goes hand in hand with when you turn 18, you're an adult. Your parents, they don't necessarily kick you out. My parents didn't kick me out, but I went to college. They supported me, but I was in college 4 hours away. I made my own decisions. I became my own person. I learned truly who I was in those 4 years. So it's like it's been set up that way that 18-year-old.
that's when you find out who you are.
It's when you're free to do that.
Even if you don't go to college, though, it's the same. Like I have siblings, like I said, and he's figuring out what college to go to, and my little sister has a kid. Like this is prime time of like, who are you gonna be for the rest of your life?
You get to make your own decisions. Maybe you get a job out of high school at 18. You start spending your own money on your own things. It's when you pay your own bills. So you become your own person. And so I think that's kind of the big thing is that the people before that are still under their parents' household.
So you're telling me, so both y'all telling me, like, from your transition from 17 to 18, there was a huge difference for you. Because
not from 17 to 18.
Okay, yeah, but nothing changed for me. I mean, even when I masturbated, it was exactly the same. Nothing changed.
I mean, it still is.
Well, I have to be dramatic and say that my 17 to 18 was more dramatic than others because I came to Tallahassee. I came to college when I was 17, and that first week I turned 18. So although the first week, new city, I'm in college now, and I'm 18 now, like all in the same week, and it's like sensory overload. Like I can go, can I do this? Like, you know, what now? Like so. My 17 to 18 was a little drastic just because that's when my life started here, and this is the place I've lived the longest besides Milwaukee. So it has like I said, it has the most to do with what I've learned, and so mine might have been a little drastic, but generally those, like you said, I mean, when the clock ticks over, I mean, nothing like snaps and you're like, yes, I'm 18. It's still like, I still feel the same way I did last week, so.
So, again, basically, I mean, I guess going back to what you guys said, I believe I heard from her pretty much that you have no sympathy for a man that slept with a 17-year-old in his 20s.
No, because I just feel that, I mean, no matter I'll just speak on my own behalf. I have some troubles with the law because of marijuana. But like when I sat down with my marijuana and made these choices to partake in it, like I knew that it was, so I can't go to the judge like, but you know, but weed is like no, it's like it's illegal though. Like regardless of how you know what I'm saying. So it's like you would just have to. I'm very fond of just taking the consequences of whatever decisions you make, good or bad. So you know, if you just, you know, that young lady tells you she's 17 and you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna just do it anyway. I mean, when you get in front of the judge,
I'm just telling you,
no one's gonna shed a tear for you.
She looked like she was 18 though, Judge. We got another special guest that just joined us today, Miss Sonia. You guys know her very well. So we're gonna pick up back where we left off. Is alcohol. Michael?
Okay, so how about you refresh where we were in the conversation?
We were talking about pedophiles.
Yeah, well, we were talking about what is
Acceptance
17
of pedophilia.
What really is 17?
What's 17 really?
And
We had a nice thought going.
yeah, no, I got my hippie going. It's just all peace and love, brother. I'm just saying, like, it's the same thing with homosexuality and then Bruce Jenner, we were talking about earlier. It's like, if you love somebody, if you truly care about somebody and they truly care about you in the same way, why does it matter your age, ethnicity, choice in life, gender selection? Why does it matter that? So, as far as, yes, I'm against older men taking advantage of younger women.
Okay. But not older women taking advantage of older men.
And older women taking advantage of younger men as well. And all of it. It's just like the more mature people taking advantage of somebody who is in a adolescent mind state where you haven't had to pay your own bills, you haven't had to be your own person because you've always been directed by teachers or parents. And then you get into the 17, 18-year-old where you graduate, you go to college, and you actually have your own freedom. And then you get poached. It's a true thing. You get poached by older men at bars. I mean, I've known many women when I was younger that would go hook up with a 23-year-old because he's a 23-year-old with a job and a car and a house.
And that was so exciting.
And that was exciting.
Like, now
it's a
okay.
fleeting thing. It's a fleeting thing. But if somebody is truly in love with somebody else, telling somebody that's 21-year-old you can't date that 17-year-old, even though you two are as much in love as two gay guys.
That's beautiful.
Two gay guys are as much in love, but they're both of age. But then you have an older man and a younger woman, or an older woman and a younger man that's just under that age date.
Acceptable for society.
Exactly, like by law. How is that any different? If they're that much in love and it goes against the current laws, then you get in prison. Where you're told you're not allowed to be that way.
Yeah, and if you go to prison for, I mean to cut you off, if you go to prison for, statutory rape, you will be anally raped. No, I'm serious. If they find out, you will be anally raped.
And then that goes on your record.
Yes.
Like there are people that live the rest of their lives without being able to get good jobs or get good houses because they have to be within 200 meters of a
I feel
public
like you're
school.
making a sob story of it though, and it's like
I'm not. Well, I'm not.
The 21-year-old, you didn't let them date the
But they're in love,
17-year-old. Don't put them in jail.
I'm not trying to make a sob story. All I'm trying to say is
but just wait. Like,
what I'm saying is that there's no difference between two people that are not illegally allowed to be in love, like prior to a couple months ago when you couldn't get married for gay marriage. It's the same thing. If they're in love and they really mean it, and I mean seriously thought about it.
Yeah.
Like, how is that any different? To be able to say that because a certain date hasn't
it's
passed,
different
you can't be in
because
love.
the law protects children and protects young minds, and any laws against any homosexual acts is not protecting anyone. That's just being not accepting.
That's true.
So the laws intact as far as age goes, they are there for a reason. There are some laws that I can't really say why they're there and why I respect them or make them any sense. But if, like I said, if I had a 17-year-old daughter, I would not understand why a 25-year-old man would feel like he should talk to her.
But your daughter may be the most amazing woman in the world.
And that's fine. And she's going to be just as amazing when she turns 18. Which I don't have anything to say anything about.
I'm going to have to agree.
I'm just saying, I don't have any sympathy. I have understanding for, oh, you really love each other, personality, maturity, yay.
Can you wait a year?
Child. That's not debatable.
The point to me is like, how do you draw that distinction? How do you say because of this certain birth date, because when that clock ticks over to midnight, now you're legally allowed to be
So are you
involved.
saying those laws shouldn't be there?
No, obviously they're obviously there for a reason. But how many laws do we live by every day that we under?
And we
Okay,
that some of them make sense and some of them don't.
Who here goes by the speed limit?
laws?
Make sure you don't go too far.
Yeah, who here goes by the speed limit?
I don't.
The
Fuck
speed
that.
limit.
I
You
don't.
cannot go faster.
I'm always 20 miles over.
At least I go 5 miles over the speed limit because I know I'm not going to get pulled over.
I have 2 tickets.
You know, so it's like, yeah, no, smoke weed.
Every
No.
day.
Yeah, so like, it's just like, how, there's laws that everybody
I think
crosses
there's
over.
laws that
and there's
protect people, and
acceptable
then there's
crosses.
laws that are more on a business standpoint. The laws against weed that's a whole nother
But
topic.
my point is that laws are built on generalities. They're
Yeah.
built on generalizations over the whole population,
I mean,
not
that's
on
just like-
individual states. We don't create laws on individual one-on-one circumstances. So I'm not trying to be an advocate here of
No, I see
older
what you're
people being with younger people,
Mhm.
but like.
Just gonna try and you gotta give a little logic to the background.
I'm okay with gay marriage. I'm okay with transgenderness and all that stuff. So like, if you're gonna outlaw one love, then outlaw them all. First.
What is the psychological difference from a 17-year-old to an 18-year-old? Why do you feel that it should be illegal for a 21 to 25-year-old, whatever age-old man to get with a 17-year-old and not with an 18-year-old? What is the difference psychologically, if you will?
Psychologically, I'm not sure if there's really a difference between a 17-year-old and an 18-year-old. It kind of depends on, I guess, how they were raised to me. Because some people are still like very nurtured and all this other stuff by the time they reach those ages, and others have already experienced a lot more than others. So to me, it kind of depends on how they were raised, how they were nurtured, all these other circumstances. Whenever it comes to me as, say, if I was a mother, I would not particularly care for a 25-year-old to be coming on to my 17-year-old. Yes.
Would you have him thrown in jail?
No, I wouldn't have him thrown in jail, depending on.
No, they love each other. He wasn't like a bad person. He just like they really loved each other.
Yeah, but did they love each
You
other?
mean by him penetrating hard? Ouch! I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
You could have just said had sex. Gee.
I mean,
I would have definitely probably had some words. I might punch him in the face because it's my 17-year-old daughter.
mhm.
But I mean, he couldn't wait 1 year. I mean, I realize that you're in love and shit, but for legal to not go through all of this and for her to be considered her own woman because she's reached that milestone of midnight on her birthday of 18 years old, you're now a legal adult, you can go do all this stuff except for buy drinks.
So you would want.
You couldn't wait.
So you like him to wait. So,
I'm
One
kinda-
second.
No,
I
I
got
mean
one-
it goes along with that.
okay, I do. I'm gonna let you go. Just a quick question with that. You said you would like him to wait. Would you have a problem with him waiting if he had pictures of her and he decided to masturbate to her pictures? Would you be okay with that?
For one, I would hope to God they wouldn't tell me that he has
Right,
new
right,
pictures
right.
of
I think my point has a little bit better. What if you had a 17-year-old son and it was a 25-year-old woman?
Wait a minute.
still not be okay.
No, okay, but see, I know. I think a lot of this has to do with the characteristics of how we view women. And we
Yeah.
talked about feminism.
Not for me
No,
though. That's
no, that's what I'm saying.
a misogynistic way to look at it. It's
Right.
there's
That's
no
what,
double
no,
standard.
but no, and that's the misogynistic reason is the point that I'm bringing up is that all we've been talking about is if it was a younger woman
Yeah,
and an older
sure.
male. So I want to reevaluate this question.
I would
If you have a 17-year-old male,
fisticuffs with whoever.
okay.
I mean, I think we focus on the woman and man because of the example we have of Kylie
Well,
and
there's
Tiger.
obviously something that we have all been talking about because we've all assumed that it was a female that was under 18.
But, I mean, were we not stemming off from this?
We were,
Missy, I mean,
but we've all been saying
Kylie-
she is younger and he is older. So how do you feel? I want to know personally. How do you feel if it's a 17-year-old boy who's 3 months away from turning 18 and he's with a 21-year-old girl?
This hoe can wait.
That's what I'm
Wait,
saying. Like,
okay,
what's the big
okay.
deal? Like, to just pump your brakes for
Okay.
like as soon as midnight hits and that motherfucker 18, they don't gotta do nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
So you're going to lift.
No, I would still have the same concerns. No, that's what I'm
Just
saying.
waiting.
Yeah.
My concerns are still the same, but the young lady or young man is allowed to make their own choice at that point.
Now-
when they still live in my house, when I still take them to school,
Mom.
when they still got graduation to worry about, what are you talking about?
Okay.
So my concerns won't change, but I can no longer do anything about it. I mean, I'm not gonna take a belt to your 18-year-old backside. I mean,
Now, on the flip side, as a man, as a father, and you have a 17-year-old son, and this bad 25-year-old woman wants your son, and your son is interested, as a father, how do you handle that situation? Do you say, no, son, you can't be with her because he's 25, you're concerned about, the fact that he's too young and his mentality may not be there? Or do you root him on?
No, do you root him? But do you actually make sure to tell him that he needs to wear protection and all this other stuff, or do you just
See,
let him go on his own?
and that's the point I'm making. What I was trying to say earlier is that I think that we all have a more protective view over females.
I don't. You
It don't matter to me.
I
It's
don't.
my child.
No, I don't.
No, because there's a whole maturity thing. Do you really need to be with her? Do you need to be doing what she's doing? Are you really able? And that's what I'm trying to bring this whole thing to. It's like, it's not a question of date, it's a question of maturity and where you are in life. And like, if you get her pregnant, are you going to be able to do anything about it?
My first question would be to my son is, what are you doing to attract
How?
him?
And when were you at the mall with my money? Like, when were you getting an ice cream cone? Like, what the fuck?
So I know a 25-year-old that's dating a 20-year-old. So they would be 23 and 18 at that time. And he's, at first we didn't like, none of us liked him because he was so immature and he would do stupid stuff when we all hung out. And like, he would bring over a bottle of Fireball whiskey and just drink it the whole time. He'd get wasted and he'd get really annoying because he was immature, and he would show his immaturity in our group and none of us liked it. And then he became mature for her to the point where now I would rather hang out with him than her because she just gets drunk and says stupid stuff and he like actually takes care of her and is a man about it. And so obviously they're both legal, so you can't really talk about it. It's not the same conversation, but it is if you back it up a couple years. Whereas a 17-year-old who seems immature could benefit somebody who's older, who just turned 21 and is drinking all the time and not going to classes.
Okay.
So he is actually a better role model for her because she's still, all she does when she's off is she just drinks and parties, and he's like, don't go out. Well, number one, because he can't, because he's not 21 yet, he can't go out with her. But he's just like, just stay home. Go to work tomorrow when you're not hungover. And so I have that view from that experience where it's a younger person who seemed really immature and really annoying and nobody liked him at first, and then he grew out of it because he cared so much for her. He had to like.
So he basically evolved to.
He wanted her to date him for so long, and it took a long time for her to actually accept and be boyfriend girlfriend.
Okay.
But since then, he's been like the most sincere gentleman. He's only 20 years old. It's not 18 and 17 exactly, but he has put himself in our group when she still gets drunk enough to be messy, and people have to pick her up and put her
Okay. Interesting. Alrighty. Now with that over, welcome back to Thomas. We have some other things that we wanted to talk about here. My question is for my audience here, my host here, I'm sorry, is Disney characters. Now, I know we got man and female here. Who would you want to, if you can choose one Disney character to be with, who would it be? Start with you, Michael.
To be with?
Any Disney character?
Any Disney character.
Do they have to be fictional?
I assume so.
Do they have to be cartoon? There's a lot of.
No,
Let's-
let's say Disney.
Let's stick with Disney cartoons at first.
How about Disney princesses?
Yeah, or Nala. Is Nala a princess?
Nala is.
I'm just
Bestiality.
Like, are we going there? Like, what are you talking about?
Anna from Frozen, for sure.
I love her.
She's back.
Wait, Anna's the blonde one?
younger.
No.
No.
Oh my, okay.
The one without the powers, the one
Gotcha.
that falls in love with this.
Yeah,
Oh my god. Okay, it's the one that sung. Gotcha.
The one that
They're
had to
both
go
some.
through struggles and find her own character throughout the movie. That would be
So, Simba.
You know what? I think why even think of like animals and like insects? Like I don't even see how.
Buzz Lightyear. Buzz Lightyear's got a vibrator on him.
I mean, probably Princess Tiana. I mean, I know she probably don't like women, but
Wait, who's Tiana?
Wow.
Princess of the
Black
Frog?
Disney character. Wow.
Wait, is it? Oh,
The black
the
one?
frog girl. Yeah.
no, not the frog girl.
I never saw
The
it.
black girl.
I just never saw the movie. I heard about it. I just never saw it.
I mean, I don't want to like put my fist in there right now. So I just choose her.
Cool.
Shout out to that.
Okay.
What are you, Thomas?
I would definitely, I mean, I might go a little criminal, It's gonna definitely be out of
Yeah, totally.
Nala. She was nice Venmo.
So Rob.
So Robbie got too much. She got too much abuse, man. She been getting abused.
We got an
Shenzi,
Who was that?
the hyena.
No, Cynthia, that was Whoopi Goldberg. Fuck no.
Oh,
Whoopi Goldberg.
No. Y'all can say it was one of the best she ever looked, and I still would not touch that with 9 Inch Pole was fucking Sister Act. That was it. But
disrespectful.
can I live?
No.
Can I be me? But if I had to choose somebody, it would probably be out of Pocahontas and Jasmine from the motherfucking Aladdin. I'm sorry, but Pocahontas died.
I mean, I would have guessed those things.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Sonya.
I'm gonna have to go with
Gaston.
Wow.
because he's not. I would have to say Prince Eric from The Little Mermaid.
This guy was dating a 15-year-old.
Ooh, throwback.
We got two special guests here.
Suzette.
So, who are you guys here? If you could choose any Disney character to be with, who would it be?
Aladdin.
Who got killed?
What? What happened?
Oh, I thought Chris said something.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, that's cool.
Pam walked in the room.
Oh, okay. So you said it would be Aladdin because.
And she said he started from the bottom.
And now
he
he's
was there.
From the
He done came
One the whole kingdom.
Okay, wait. So there is an issue.
Well, his hand is in the
Yeah.
shot. That's what the issue is.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Exactly. From the slums.
Okay. All right, continue.
We're good? Okay, so he started from the bottom, now he's there?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's a real man.
Real man, got you.
Well,
He had
what do you
magical
think?
assistance.
What if I was never at the bottom? What if I couldn't go from the bottom to here?
He used what he had.
Yeah, but the genie is useless now.
Not to me.
He doesn't
Leave
have
Batman
phenomenal
30.
cosmic power, but he can still make some magic, so you have the man or the forces behind him that make the man.
You know what? Says the unexplainable voice from this guy.
Hootie!
So God, tell us who you
Yeah,
is.
Hootie, has got to go.
Maleficent.
Wait, what? Oh, what is that?
I gotta piss real quick, guys. I'm
Now
sorry.
that was,
That's actually a bomb ass.
that's a bomb bitch.
Thomas.
I gotta urinate real quick, hold on.
That's all, folks.
Don't
He just got up to go use the bathroom.
Yes.
And made a point to say I have to piss on camera.
Thomas is gone. He's gone.